You love singing with me.
Welcome back to You Not Gonna Like This. This is episode 39, the vilification of rap. So this topic was inspired because some reason over the course of hip hop and rap music, it has been seen as a form of very despairing speech. And you can take this all the way back to the early 80s with the NWAs, all the way to the present day, as of now. And another reason I chose this topic is because I believe all of us here are very avid rap music listeners. May it be trap rap, may it be lyrical rap, may it be pop rap, whatever rap form you choose, it is still rap music or hip hop, better known. But overall, just gonna take a small dive into why is rap vilified? Should it be vilified? Prime examples. Basically, how did we get here, and how can we basically reverse the timeline on why it's so, I guess, condemned. But overall, we unite. We got Malcolm, we got Vontae. So, guys, first question I got for you. Wait, hold up before I get there. First, we have to define vilification. For those that do not know, vilification means abusively despairing speech or writing. So there it goes, hand in hand, makes sense why the title is what it is. But the first question I got for you guys today is, why do you think rap is vilified?
I can start this off. So the reason I think rap is vilified because I think not many people understand it or really relate to it. I feel like a lot of the times, people who listen to music think they have to relate to the music. I think we can even look at, let's say, gangster rap, because I think that's the type of rap that's vilified the most. People look at it and say, "Oh, they really ain't living that type of life," or this and that. But it's a lot of time it's not. It's people from outside of our community that's really vilified, that's really condemning it, and saying this is not real rap. But in reality, I think the word rap has many different meanings, and you could break rap into different forms of rap. You have gangster rap, you have lyrical rap, and the other different types of rap. So specifically when it comes to like gangster rap and trapping, and people talking about the things that they do in those raps, I think people outside of our community don't really understand what they're truly talking about, or may not relate. So it's like, oh, that's just propaganda or whatever the case may be, and that's just a part of it of why. But I also think too, our counterparts, like white people more so, they don't they try to understand, or like they try to make an initial understanding of it, but then they just fail to really understand. Because I think a lot of the time gangster rap, starting from the, like, you really have to go back to time in history to understand, like, gangster rap didn't just come on the scene. It's been on the scene for a long period of time. So if you don't really know the history of it, or you really haven't done your research on it, then of course you're going to condemn something that you may not understand. So that's just a part of it. I know we're going to touch on different things now, expand later.
Well said, Vontae. Well said. I agree. Let me just play devil's advocate. Honestly, with that being said, I see it. You were talking about white people, and the thing that really hit my ear was you were talking about white people listening to rap music. And it's funny you say that. It's particularly when we thinking about gangster rap, whether it be Chicago drill rap or the Game and the boys out in LA back in the '90s, early 2000s, or even if we, I don't know, the Chicago grill scene, or even the niggas from New York, that the New York drill,
Mhm.
like Pop Smoke. Um, you said a lot of white people hear it and they don't understand it. I think, and I know we probably agree. There's a lot of agreements in it. White people listen and they just don't fucking care. They think that they hear what folks are doing down in Atlanta, just saying when Pop Smoke was alive, what he was doing in the streets, or even better yet,
take my AirPod out. What Chicago drill rappers are doing now, specifically like Lil Durk, Chief Sosa, and all of them boys. I think white people hear that stuff, generally speaking, and not all white people, of course, just speaking in generalities, because I had a roommate and he loved rap music, but the rap music he loved was Little Durk, at that time, you know, Designer, Migos, you know, not necessarily something conscious or somewhat lyrical. So I think they don't really understand the true nature of rap, like from the roots, you know, talking African Bambaataa to DJ Kool Herc, like its actual roots where the lyrics are important. That's something about, you know, our art form. The lyrics are super important. So they just hear a nice, white people in general, hear a nice beat, and they hear a good flow, you know, and they're like, that's good music. But to us, it means something, it's a little closer to home. So they think rap music is, I guess and J. Cole said it best, was he in 1985? I forgot what song.
I was just thinking about
They want to
that.
be black and they think rap is hot. Yes, yeah. But to your point on rap being vilified, I see it from the other perspective, and I'm more aligned. Joyner Lucas said it in his song, Black people let their children listen to it, and then the cycle continues. Because gangster rap in particularly, like, I think people take stuff out of, and I agree with you, but I think people take stuff out of context. What was that dude's name? I hate to be so long-winded, but this is a real interesting topic. Like, y'all got the ones turning on this one. Troy Ave. I know y'all probably don't listen to him, but he said this: the rap music I knew rap music had shifted and changed completely when when it went from drug dealers talking about making a living to the drug abusers just doing drugs and partying and stuff. And I'm not really familiar with Troy Ave's music, but I know he was right. That was my opinion too. It's gone from I gotta do this stuff, I gotta sell this crack cocaine to hustle, I gotta move this heroin to feed my family, I gotta sell, you know, to what we hear, the party music we hear mostly today, because I think people rap is just so diverse. But we have to understand too that when people outside of our culture, even within our own culture, hear it, and they automatically assume it's all automatically assumed. So you can imagine when they hear already stereotypes about Black people being criminals, when they hear NBA YoungBoy, NLE Chopper talking about doing the exact same shit we face a stereotype for. And it don't matter if you from the trenches of DC, Atlanta, New York, Baltimore. It don't matter if you were born in Cumberland, Virginia. Let me think of some other country ass place, Lunenburg County, Virginia, or if you was born in the safe suburbs of Springfield, Virginia, Woodbridge. It don't matter, because that is all of you. And I think when we make our music, we have to be conscious of that, because I love listening to, you know, Dirk. Hell, even, no, I'm not gonna say 6ix9ine on camera. You can take that part out. But I love listening to that stuff. But Jeezy was my favorite rapper growing up, and he was talking about street shit all the time. And I ain't never done nothing like that. But when I listen, I could understand. But me and Jeezy also share being Black in America too. So I'm about to get long-winded. Yo, yeah, we about to have a discussion.
I also think too, the crazy part about this, I think sometimes it gets vilified in our own household, because we have parents who are like, why are you listening to that type of stuff? You ain't do a goddamn thing in that. Like, why does that relate to you? So then when it starts to become vilified in a household, and you take it outside, and you have even less, like, people who listen, like, bro, you ain't, the stuff that you saying, you ain't really living that. The stuff that they saying, you ain't really living that. But more so times, it's not that people aren't living it, but where you from, you see that same type of stuff. So in some type of ways, you may not really be living that type of life, but you can see exactly the stuff that goes on because you're directly around it, and you see how it affect your community. And that's where sometimes the condemnation of rap, or you vilifying it, it's like when it gets vilified in our own household, or whatever the case may be, it's like, I'm not doing that type of stuff, but I see how that type of stuff is directly affecting my community. And I see exactly why someone like a Lil Durk, a Lil Baby may rap about that type of stuff, because they directly seen that type of stuff, or they directly live that type of stuff. Because it's not, rap is not all about you going through that type of stuff. It's, I'm rapping through experiences that I've seen or that people have told me.
Exactly. Right.
And that's something that 21 Savage said. He's like, yeah, the type of stuff I did, I don't want people doing that type of stuff. I'm talking from experience, but I also understand that this is the type of stuff that's going to sell and that's going to get my name high and get my name put on the block. So there's different people look and try to vilify when it's really, it can be used for marketing. People can be telling lies, whatever, but they know that type of stuff is going to sell and that's what people want to listen to at the end of the day.
Because just like you said, I don't know if y'all, I love Comethazine. I love his music.
Oh,
But y'all know the type of shit he be saying in his music if you're familiar with it. And he had an interview with it was some random interview, and he said, yo, when I first started out doing this shit, I was lyrical, you know, the whole nine with lyricism. But then he said, one day I just decided to make a super ignorant song, and that's the one that got more traction. And y'all hear what he's doing now, or been doing since 2016.
With all due respect, my boy, you're the only one listening to Comethazine, I believe, in this episode today. Because I had never, ever listened to a Comethazine song a day in my life. With all due respect, I don't know if he's trash, I don't know if he's good. I just never, ever listened to him. But when it comes to rap being vilified, I feel like we all hit on it. It's every part, you know, people not understanding the full picture, you know, people getting a stereotype out of it. But, you know, I'm gonna take a different route. I think it became vilified because starting with gangster rap, it became a voice for issues within the country of things that's going on, especially for Black people. Like if we take it all the way back to gangster rap, back in the NWA, even Public Enemy, if you want to, the two songs that rock the '80s with like activism or anything of that nature, the two things that activated activism basically in the '80s was Public Enemy with Fight the Power, and then NWA with Fuck the Police. When those two songs hit the streets and people started hearing them, like, and I watched the Straight Compton movie way back when I was in high school, and they say some of the parts aren't true, some of the depictions aren't completely accurate, but the one thing that was accurate was that NWA received a letter from the FBI about performing Fuck the Police at their concerts. And I believe they were actually arrested at one of their concerts performing the song because if the depiction is correct, they were warned before the show and they performed anyway. They were all arrested for a hate speech or anything of that nature, just to pick to try to get them to not perform it. But like that's where it all started. And then after that, you get guys like Tupac with extremely conscious rap. You know, like I said back in episode 33, the meaning of the N-word. Back in the meaning of the N-word, where Tupac said nigga was never ignorant, getting goals accomplished and things of that nature. So it's just like it's vilified, one, because people don't understand it, two, because stereotypes are originated. Like Vontae said, it's even vilified in your household. Some people hate rap music and don't even want to touch their kids' ears because they're afraid that it's going to impact them in extremely negative ways. And then last but not least, like I said, it's a voice for the people. And that definitely leads me into this gangster rap and why it was the start of all of it being vilified. Like I already talked about NWA, but it kept going, and it trickled down. Like Malcolm said, how Comethazine went from talking about lyrical to abuse to very ignorant style music, and how music went from drug dealing to drug abusing it's the whole nine, honestly, and it's very deep. I don't want to get too winded on it. And that definitely leads me into this gangster rap and why it was the start of all of it being vilified. Like I already talked about NWA, but it kept going, and it trickled down. Like Malcolm said, how Comethazine went from talking about lyrical to abuse to very ignorant style music, and how music went from drug dealing to drug abusing it's the whole nine, honestly, and it's very deep. I don't want to get too winded on it.
No, bro, it's
very deep. It's a lot to go into. But long story short, let me wrap it up. Like it's vilified because, like me, I just think it's vilified because of the whole. It's a voice for the people. Like it's a reason that certain people ain't won a Grammy ever in their careers. It is a huge, huge, huge reason why. And I feel like it's just because people use rap as a platform to speak on issues that some people just don't want to hear about, unfortunately. And that's my 2 cents. But
That's a good point, TJ.
but let's actually get into gangster rap. What is gangster rap? I feel like all of us familiar with this. Gangster rap is very ignorant style, it's a very ignorant style of music. Very, I wouldn't say hateful, but it's very aggressive, very strong, very strongly worded. Like no filter. Like I said, NWA. If you listen to any of the NWA's music, no filter. Very raw, unfiltered. They coming for somebody. And it trickled down to West Coast with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg with songs like Nothing But Dre Day and Nothing But a G Thing. And well, no, not Nothing But Dre Day, still Dre Day and Nothing But a G Thing. And other songs just like it. And then it kept on with the 10 Crack Commandments with Biggie, and henceforth it just never stopped. Like once people started putting their experiences into the music, that's when it really took a turn for the worse in terms of why rap is not loved by the people. But how do y'all feel gangster rap has affected the whole rap being deemed as evil music?
I think. Oh,
You go ahead. I'll go ahead.
And so when I think gangster music, gangster rap in particular, I think of, and see, that's what I'm saying. We coming up with new, and that's, well, I'm saying we, but y'all know what I'm saying. There's new rappers coming up, because I personally think if you are a gangster rapper, you either are taking the Kendrick Lamar approach, you've lived around it, you may have been affiliated, but you weren't in it, or the Game, Snoop, Young Thug, all the boys in Chicago. You are a gang member, and these are your stories. So I mean, what matters is which one is more, I guess, suitable, because Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City, versus the voice of the King, we could say King Von, the voice of the streets or something like that, or Lil Durk, Lil Bibby, Fredo Santana, almost everybody from Chicago. Those are just the ones that just come quick to mind. So why is it vilified from the point of the Kendrick Lamar? I'm trying to think who else grew up in the hood but necessarily won't in the streets doing shit like that. I can't think of what's up?
J. Cole, Big Sean.
You think Fayetteville, North? I don't know Fayetteville, North Carolina. Well, that's his experience. So I'm talking about like a South Side, Chicago, Compton,
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well,
Lil Wayne in New Orleans. My fault. That's what I was. Yeah, that's like, because he rap about it, but Lil Wayne's a different type of rapper. But first and foremost, I guess what I'm trying to say is, I think the vilification of gangster rap from the Kendrick Lamar perspective, I'm an observer, as opposed to I am actively involved in, like, think of Lil Reese, or even, I don't know if Speaker Knockers was into it like that, but I heard he mentioned that. When I listen, because this is what people don't understand, I hate to get off topic again, but you know how most people will listen to an NBA YoungBoy song and be like, oh God, that's some ignorant shit. But like, one thing one of my white friends started doing, he hit me up the other day. I told him about this dude on YouTube that like actually researches like when they talking about one of their homeboys or one of they enemies who got smoked, or what set they claiming and stuff. And he went back and looked at the storyline, particularly, why do I keep saying NBA YoungBoy? Because he was like, what's up with this Lil Durk NBA YoungBoy stuff? And he went back, listened to their music, heard the gang ties, heard some of the crimes. And I know this is going to segue into our last point too, some of the illicit activities he was talking about. And he was like, yo, they're rapping about what they actually are doing. And that goes right to Devontae's point. I don't know. I know we hear the materialistic edginess to rap music, but as far as, yo, my boy died, you killed my nigga, like, I'm gonna run back on you or whatever, that shit is real for most rappers. Now, do they still do the stuff they doing? Of course not. Look at Meek Mill. People were still saying, oh, he ain't real. He's like, bro, I'm not doing this shit no more. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was trying to think about when he was trying to name somebody else that wasn't completely affiliated, but was around it a lot. Meek Mill. I don't know if Meek Mill, I don't know if Meek Mill has ever actually been in a gang, but I know he was around it a lot because he does have a lot of criminal charges on his record. Now I don't know if he was ever in one, but I know he was definitely into it. Because you can't forget Dreadhead Meek Mill. Remember them days?
No, no.
Them
Oh,
days
and
was
Dante, to your previous question, you asked what ruined gangster rap? Clout chasing. Because then you get niggas like Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's what ruined it. That's what made the shit obsolete in this century.
I don't know. I don't know about that. That's one person out of like
I mean,
100.
Slim Jesus. He was claiming some Crip set up in Cleveland. Slim Jesus. Yeah, that what? Yes, yeah, him.
I
Jesus.
also think as well, like when it comes to gangster rap, I think the biggest thing that I want to say ruined it is people within the industry. Like when people within the industry start to realize you talking that you're not really living that stuff, they go in interviews and start to say like, man, these people out here that really talking like they did some of this stuff, like they even start to condemn the stuff within the industry. So if they're doing it within the industry, then of course you have other people who will look at it and say, man, I ain't listen to that stuff, man. They all these people really they just capping. Like, so sometimes the vilification or the down look on gangster rap, because it's some like it's people within the industry who talking like they did something, but they ain't really do nothing. But then you have those real people who really do something, and then you got people looking like, and you have people who are like, is he really living that? Is he really doing that? Because they feel like the stuff that they heard, and when you have people within the industry really just downing them and saying like it's been so many open interviews where people are like, man, it's certain rappers who really saying they live in that type of stuff. They really not. Like I listen to $1 Million Worth of Game all the time, and the amount of rappers that come on in, then after you get somebody's like, man, there's people that come on this show where it's like they not even really, they just living, they ain't really living that type of stuff. But I also would say too with gangster rap too, I think gangster rap wasn't, people think it's meant for them. Like people like gangster rap for many reasons. It could be you like the lyrics, you can like the production of it, you can like whatever you like. And I think everybody thinks gangster rap is for them. Like gangster rap is not for everybody. The type of sound it is, it's so hard beat. Like it's not soft. Like it's not a J. Cole, like J. Cole can spit bars, of course, but he's not talking about shooting somebody or whatever that case may be. Like it's catered to different crowds, and it's catered to different crowds, even for us as Black people. Like everybody as an African American don't like gangster rap. Like some people just like, yeah, I don't really f with that stuff. Like I'm more so lyrics of J. Cole, conscious on my conscious stuff type, man, and that's okay. So vilify, I would say it gets vilified through the industry, then it gets vilified through like our community. But I will say the one interesting part too is when I go to concerts, and it's kind of crazy when I'm like, sometimes like, damn, it's more white people here than Black people here. And I've like had that realization a couple of times, but it's like, damn, these people really just talk music. Like that's kind of crazy to me. And you would think that like, and for me, I was like, when I started, I was like, that's interesting. But then it kind of just changed. But it's like, you can kind of see what type of music attracts different people and things like that. So I just think it's interesting as a whole, like the whole dynamic of it. And they're saying different cultures listen to our type of music in general, especially like gangster rap and stuff. Like listen to seeing people, you know, listen to Pop Smoke. I'm like, that's interesting. It's just interesting, like why people like get so attracted to our music and things like that. Like it's just, I think the whole like gangster rap is like such an interesting thing because like I feel like we're going to continue like that's never going to die down. Like gangster rap is a staple of the industry and it will always be there.
Malcolm hit on it earlier, and he hit on it dead on. And 1985 by J. Cole explains exactly the phenomenon you are talking about, Bonte. I can't recite the lyrics word to word because I don't know the whole song. Even though if we played it, I could recite it like it was nothing. But man, if I remember correctly, you gotta give a boy a chance to grow some. Some talking all these days, they broke on, but it was something about when he said it like because it was a response to Lil Pump when he was making the F you the fuck you J. Cole song. And the response was when you buy your mama house, it was all that, and he kept saying it, and he kept saying like when your money dies down because the kids want to live the life that you live, they want to be the color of your skin. That ain't the exact lyrics, but
and he said these
it's
white
that
kids.
part with the color of your skin. That's the part I know it. Like they want to be black and they just want to know
They
how
want to be
it
black and think this is how it feels. Yeah.
feels. Yup, that's the lyric right there. And that is why that's why you get that phenomenon when you have more white people than black people, because they want to know what it's like to be black. And the phrase goes, and it's been going forever and to this day, everybody wants to be black until it is time to be black.
Everybody want to be black. Everybody want to be black. Don't nobody want to be a nigga. Yeah.
Everybody wants to know what it's like. Everybody wants to know, like, being that we are always talked about, we're always in somebody else's mouth from activism purposes, for being looked down upon, being praised, whatever it may be. Everyone wants to know what do we face on a daily basis? What does the world not know? And that's what gangster rap gives the people an insight to. Like that gives you insight to the Young G's, the Ti's, the Pusha T's, the guys that was really on the streets, drug dealer, gang affiliated, doing all those illicit activities. Young Gucci Mane. And I feel like Gucci Mane is a perfect example because he one of the few rappers besides him and Meek Mill that have like legit faced jail time. Even Biggie faced jail time before Ready to Die came out. He had just got out of jail. I don't know what he did, but he got out of jail just before he dropped Ready to Die. Just before he dropped it, because I think him and one of his boys got caught up in a crime, and his boy took the bid for him so he could release Ready to Die. So there's that. So like Biggie, Gucci Mane, I think Gucci Mane be the murder charge, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Meek Mill has been arrested twice. He's been in prison twice. Let me see. Lil Baby, before Freestyle came out, he had just finished doing a 5-year bid for, I think, drug dealing, if I'm not mistaken. Because I remember Young Thug talks about it all the time, how he had paid Lil Baby to go to the studio because I don't know what interview he said it, but it's public knowledge that
It was
he said,
Breakfast Club when he said that he paid. Baby was like, he said, the only way I can get Baby to the studio, so if I paid him more than was making the streets. So every time he went to the studio, he paid Baby $5,000 to go in the studio.
Yep, because when Lil Baby got out of jail, he went right back to the exact spot he got arrested at. And Young Thug knew the cycle was going to continue again because he's going to do the exact same things he already been doing. And then the three strikes and y'all rule has been going on since the 90s. And Tupac said that back then, Shorty Want to Be a Thug, in his song way back in 96. So like, it's been going on a lot. And it's been like gangster rap is really it's really the forefront of why it's so vilified, because it's a very violent nature of rap, man. Like it really gives you a real insight to what like people from low income neighborhoods. Like I'm not from a low income neighborhood, but people that's from the low income neighborhoods, what they really face on an everyday basis when they got a drug deal because mom working 3 jobs and then she still can't get money, stuff like that. Like that's like they real lives. And like me personally, being I listen to guys like J. Cole, I have an ear for when a person is really talking about what is really gangster rap, and then you got the people that are just talking that are not really have been there. You like if you listen to like lyrical rap, you can definitely differentiate that almost immediately if you really know, because some things just don't correlate. And if you know gangster rap very, very well, all the rappers, the best ones, have the same points or has some correlation. Like T.I., Young Jeezy, and Pusha T, for prime example, all have connection to crack cocaine. All 3 of them do. But that's in their music. Jay-Z, Biggie, I don't know if Jay-Z was doing crack.
Oh, Pusha fucking T.
Pusha T was definitely doing crack. He said that back in when he dropped Grind in 2002. He said that. He been talking about dealing. He been talking about cocaine.
Right, he been telling cocaine, crack. He
He don't do
I
it no
fuck
more.
with Pusha.
But he made a career. He made a career off talking about dealing snow, cooking snow. He made a whole career off it. Young Jeezy for like the first 6-7 years of his career till TM103, strictly talking about dealing, strictly talking about Thug Motivation 101, strictly a drug dealer album.
Yeah.
T.I. invented trap music, Gucci Mane, State versus Roddy Davis, State versus Roddy Davis, literally talking about serving the big, beating the crime, being the full blown life of being a gangster. And people still talk about it today. Like Polo G is one of my favorite rappers now. And like if you listen to his first album, he literally talks about being in the streets of Chicago and like how dangerous it is on a night to night basis. Like you like Lil Durk says it best. Like Lil Durk, being that Lil Durk is one of the most well known people in music, he says himself he cannot go back to his own block because he's not safe. And I hate to be a bearer of bad news. We recently just saw that with Young Dolph. Like Young Dolph, cause after he made his money, he was no longer in the streets, raising his kids, had his wife. But even then, Memphis, they still got him. They still got him. Nobody knows the motive why, but they still got him.
And then niggas will sit there and say,
Stayed in LA. Not in the gang life no more. Left it. Retired. Was an OG. Still got him. Like it's sad, honestly, but it's the true nature of it. And I feel like I said, like the lyric says, it gives our white counterparts an insight to what it's like to be black, to have to watch your back all the time, to have to really like come from basically nothing to be what you are. And I guess people just want to live. They want that life. And I know some people. I know some black people that want to go on a life like that. They want the underdog story. They crave the underdog story. When who the hell wants to be an underdog? I'm not shit. Like I don't want to be like that. That shit is not fun. I come from experience. That shit is not it. Nobody wants to live that life. Shit sucks. But gangster. Back to the main point originally. Like that's the reason. One of it is vilified the way it is, just because it's raw, it's unfiltered, and it has a huge impact on people. That's why you guys like 6ix9ine. That's why you guys like, I guess what Malcolm said, Slim Jesus. I don't know who that is, but guys like that. You get guys that try to talk about the life but never really got the life. That's probably why, honestly, that drug abusing is more popular than drug dealing now, because you can't fake a drug dealer life, but you can definitely live a drug abusing life. So there's that. There's that as well. When you got Moneybagg Yo talking about drinking lean, like made a whole song about drinking lean. Waukesha literally a whole song about drinking lean and how much he loves to drink it. That's literally the whole song. And then just things like that. Lil Xan name really coming off doing Xan.
Like, Lil Wayne, me and my drink up in the studio, man.
I can't see Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne, he been abusing drugs since he was like 19. So there's a difference with Wayne and guys like Future. Like Future was a drug dealer and he abused drugs too. So Future and Wayne are a little different. They're different, but everybody else though, 6ix9ine, Lil Xan, and whoever else you can think of. I don't listen to guys that fake the life personally for me, but
you talking about it kind of like paused for a little bit, but you said, what did you say about Wayne again?
I said that Wayne has always been dealing drugs, around drugs, abused drugs since he came out. He's always been around that. He's always lived it. Like, prime example, if you look at Lil Wayne today, you can tell that man has been doing drugs forever in the day. No disrespect to Wayne at all, but he literally fits the mold. Like, you see him now when he do interviews and stuff. He just be so out of it. He just be there. Like, if you watch him Iron Athlete,
I feel like dying.
He can still speak formulated sentences. My man he's one of the smartest people out here, but my man is dead. Like he just be going through it. He just be chilling all day, every day. That's literally his life. Literally. So, but that's that. That's really that. And that's why. But let's get into the topic of how rap is used against Black people, because I think this is a very important aspect that we need to hit on, definitely. And hopefully, if somebody sees this episode, when you're telling your story, don't tell on yourself, please. It can be used against you in more ways than one. Rap, the use of rap in the courtroom. Now, this is a very popular thing that's been going on all over the United States, specifically. Guys I can name off recent memory. Take A. He got called with a capital murder charge because he made a song about doing the race after killing a man. Told himself there.
What's the nigga? Murder on My Mind, Melody, whatever.
What?
The
race?
murder on my
Ryan Baby Melody. Talking about committing double homicide. Now he's on trial for a double homicide, and they're using the lyrics against him. I believe in Meek Mill's case, when he went to jail the second time, they used his previous lyrics against him as well. So like, and I heard New York is working on banning it from being used in court, which is a good thing because I think it's completely unfair to somebody to be able to tell their story and they get told on and it gets used against them. It's a tough life. But
I mean, but think about it. What if you one of them people that lost someone in the gang violence in Baltimore or Chicago? And
it's a good point. I can't argue that. But guys like YG talk about it too in the song Who Shot You. Most of YG's album, like Meet the Flockers, talk about him robbing the house, literally step by step how to do it. So it's all that great stuff. Like, you know, use of rap in the courtroom is a very important thing. I feel like people gotta stop telling themselves, man. Like I understand you got a story to tell, but please don't tell yourself. Like keep like if you drug deal, that's fine. If you abuse drugs, that's fine. But please keep what goes into the business. Because if everybody watched the drug dealer episode, we know what goes into the business of being there. So let's not be so hasty to tell it on the track, because that's a quick way to get caught up. Y'all got anything for that?
I think the biggest thing is I look at it from both sides. I think a lot of times, like, I think as rappers, like, the sad part is, like, I feel like sometimes they know, like, sometimes a lot of these rappers, they be in cases and they be putting out stuff that can be used against them. Like, people are going to find, especially in court, like, they're going to find any and every way to connect, like listen to what you say and it's like, oh, that maybe relates to what you're talking about. And I think sometimes like you say, it goes back to people literally like just telling themselves. And I also think people telling themselves, but it's sometimes they may be involved in some shit. They may be involved in some stuff. They go making music and then they're like, oh, there's a case. And then the case, well, the lawyers, whoever, they'll look at it as like, oh, he made a song about that. So I think it's like, I look at it from both sides of the spectrum as well.
That's what happened to ARAB. Because he could have been a great rapper, y'all, real talk. But he kept rapping, feds listen back in the pen. And it just happened over. I don't know if you listen to ARAB.
Not familiar. Not familiar. But another recent example, since we're going on examples, like, and it's happening, and it keeps happening. Like, you know, rest in peace, King Von. But before King Von was shot and killed last year, he went on the Breakfast Club and was doing an interview, and I think Charlamagne asked him a question, and he was about to just like rap, like, and then Lil Durk hit him with a fake cough to get his attention, and then they made eye contact, and King Von said nothing further because he was about to just say everything that went on in the streets. And what I mean swiftly, if they would have swiftly, because being at the Breakfast Club is one of the most popular podcast shows in the United States. I don't know about the world, but in the United States, we all know if King Von would have really spilt what he was about to say, he could have got himself caught up, Dirk caught up, and so many others caught up in that because of his words. Because of his words. So like, seriously, you gotta be careful what you say. If you got a story to tell, please tell your story. But treat until lyrics are banned from usage in the courtroom against you, please treat your rap lyrics like you would treat your social media presence. Don't say something you don't want the world to know, please, because it definitely can be used against you. The true statement of what they say, what you say can be and will use against you in the court of law. You have a right to an attorney. So take those words with very true intent, please. Definitely. But next I got another practice of the vilifying rap is the Grammys. Whew. Man, let me tell you now, look, the Grammys have been robbing a lot of people of rap awards and have been well full blown out. Like they do not like that conscious rap music. They don't like any of it. And they only give it to certain rap artists if certain individuals love that song. And it's prime examples like the Baby Keem. Baby Keem has been out for less than a year, if not two, at most two. He's already got a Grammy. J. Cole, his only Grammy from his entire music is off the song with 21 Savage, A Lot, which is one of the most popular songs for both of them. But none of their other music even got a look. Well, at least J. Cole's for the most part. I don't know 21 Savage was that well, but it makes no sense when I name guys like J. Cole and they have one Grammy that's only for that. Kendrick Lamar, I don't believe Kendrick Lamar has a Grammy unless I miss something. He don't got one. Like nothing will ever forget for me when 2013 when we had Born Center, Forest Hills Drive, Good Kid, Mad City, and Heist Nights by Macklemore, and Macklemore won the award.
That album was dope, bro. Like I don't care what nobody say. I'm saying it right here. Macklemore. No, let me stop. I'm just playing with y'all.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. So like the Grammys are a prime example. Like the Grammys, they be dogging black man. They be dogging them bad. Like when you be seeing like I don't have it in front of me because the Grammys been doing it for so long. But if you can pull up all the nominees, the Grammys, people that they've had some big names. But the people that win these awards, you just be like, nah, bro, no way. No way. And like, I feel like the only rapper that's ever won something and recently, because he doesn't rap about those things, is Drake. That's the only person. That's the only rapper you can name. Like right now that has like tons of Grammys because he's Drake. I mean, he's a pop rapper. So his music correlates with all people. But anything conscious, like I believe Andre 3000, I think Outkast, they have the only Grammy that I think one of the few Grammys from the South. I don't think a Young Jeezy or T.I. has a Grammy, unless I missed some. No. But I know Andre 3000 got one. West Coast, they don't really got one. How's the East? Yeah. Grammys, man. To file business. File business.
Shout out for to Tyler the Creator because he just won a Grammy for his album too. So I think that's.
But Tyler, that's the thing about the music, bro. In my opinion, it's about the audience. Because I can tell you, I can only name a few black people that listen to him. And when you look at his concerts, nah.
But I say it's a very few. I know probably 2 people off the top of my head that listen to Tyler Creator all 7 albums. Because man, look, the only album I listened to by Tyler Creator was the one he just won a Grammy for. That is the only album I've ever listened to by Tyler Creator. And probably will be the only one I will ever listen to. Unless people talk about it and be like, oh my God, this album is insane. You need to listen to it. But that's the only reason I Tyler Creator. That's the only reason. Because Twitter and Instagram, everybody was talking about it. It was like, yeah, bro, this is the album. This is it. This is the one. And in fact, it was the one. It was a very great project. Shout out to Tyler Creator. But audience is everything, like Mama said. And it's who your audience is what dictates that Grammy award. If you got an audience for the majority of black people, he probably not won it. Chris Brown, I don't think Chris Brown got that many Grammys. And we talking about Chris Brown here, bro. Like,
but you know who is winning in that audience? White women, the majority of our population. Goddamn Jack Harlow, bro. Like literally choose your audience.
Want a Grammy over Beyonce.
And that's why I tell like, and it's funny when you hear like
our business.
You hear some of your boys talking and everything, and they're like, yo, why can't Cole or Jeezy or somebody win a Grammy? And I'm like, bro, that's because they can't. Well, let's think about Jeezy or T.I. They cater to the street audience. There's a difference between being famous in the streets, actually famous, and white girl famous. A lot of people don't hit that threshold of white girl famous. Most people are famous in the streets, Lil Bibby. We got, you know, some of those Chicago shooter boys, and then we got the T.I.s, the Gucci Manes, I'm not gonna say Birdman, but you understand where I'm coming with that.
Yeah,
once you hit white girl famous, once white girls like have you in their playlist, Tyler the Creator, Jack Harlow, Macklemore,
you don't think T.I. reached that white girl famous man? Like with whatever you like and dead and gone?
Just that part. Take that back.
Paper Trail and Paperwork? I don't know. I think out of all T.I.'s albums, those two were the albums that should have reached the white masses. I hate to say it. That should have reached it. Like Pharrell, when you got Pharrell on the project, I feel like everybody knows Pharrell's music. So it's Pharrell we talking about here. So yeah, definitely that. T.I., you don't think T.I. reached it? I think T.I.
I think whatever you like, and that song with Rihanna definitely was that, but that don't mean the album was appreciated.
I feel it. Definitely not Jeezy. No, that's facts.
Oh yeah, but I love Jeezy, bro. Man.
Oh,
but
R.I.P. just killed the club.
Like at the end of the day, like when it comes to Grammys and stuff, I think it all goes back to audience. Who's this person targeting? Who, like the people who control these, like who vote, like what they're listening to and how they pick. Like I think that's all. It's all controlled by the end of the day, and when it's controlled, it's very hard to win a Grammy of something that big. So
yeah. Why that may be true? Eminem don't have a Grammy either. And Eminem's white.
Yeah, he said some bad. He said some crazy shit. He was like
Eminem hates the Grammy. He said it in the interview. He hates the Grammy. He said, "Don't invite us to our award show to get our hopes up if you're gonna snub us every year." He said that in the interview. I'll never forget it. I think it was an interview with I can't think of his name. I don't want to do a disservice to him by just guessing. But whatever that interview was, yeah, definitely. He said that. I laughed hard. But dang, yeah, that's crazy. Eminem don't have a Grammy, and he's white. I want to know who the audience Eminem is, please.
Right, Eminem got everybody but like black people, honestly, even some black people.
My boy Pete that is his GOAT rapper. So yeah, I know some black people definitely love some Eminem. Don't look at me like that. We'll get into that on a later basis. We'll get on that on a later basis. But yeah, Eminem not winning one, shocking. Definitely shocking, being that you would think a white rapper, even Mac Miller don't got one. A white rapper, white masses. You would think. Oh.
That's because they got to be Macklemore. Mac Miller and Eminem weren't talking about comfortable topics. Mac Miller was doing drugs, psychedelics, and everything of that nature, and Eminem was talking about killing his fucking mom. But Macklemore, no, I'm not gonna say it. Not tonight.
You're right. Macklemore was talking about popping tags in the thrift shop. So hey, that's pretty much it, really. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't think rap should be vilified. It's not despairing speech or writing by any means. I feel like it's deeper than what you see out of the 6ix9ines, the Lil Pumps, and all those once upon a time hot artists, but now, as J. Cole said on Love and Hip Hop, respectively, it's more to it than that. So if you do not listen to rap, you don't listen to it. Hip hop, as it's also known as, Actually listen to it, take a deeper dive into it,
I think
actually
there's different types of rap, and I think people at the end they just have to find a niche. Once you find your niche and what you like, you stick you.
definitely. I like that. But yeah, go with that. Yeah, yeah. Find what's comfortable. I don't like gritty rap. It's not my style of thing. Like, I can't do no like Benny the Butcher. I can't. I had tough times there. I have tough times, very tough times. But melodic rap, that's right down my main street. It's perfect. Love anything like that. But overall, that's pretty much all I got. Things going on for the podcast. Let's see. Next episode we got is Black Men versus Black Women. Very popular topic. Talking about the differences within two counterparts of the same community, but really taking a dive into why why do we fight so much? So why do we fight so much with others of the same race or the opposite sex? Why do we fight? Why do we fight so much between? Why there's so many differences? Why there's so many problems? All those great things, really. And I got some women on there because you got to hear from both sides and things of that nature and how it goes. But overall, that's pretty much it. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. If you have not watched the other episodes before this one, definitely tune in. I believe it's I don't want to force speak it, but actually yes, at this point, Music Central is out now. So if you have not tuned in to Music Central, definitely tune in. Where we talk about rap, R&B mainly. That's pretty much how it goes there. So definitely tune in there if you want to hear some good conversations on different kind of albums, crime, dog style, and more. But that's all I got for y'all. Vontae, Malcolm, you got anything for people before we disappear?
No, I don't have nothing. Hope y'all enjoyed this episode because it was good.
Malcolm?
Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, hope y'all liked it.
All right, well, that's all I got for y'all today. Thank y'all for tuning in and see y'all soon.